Stanley lived with his dad and older brother, Kyle. His dad was never around, and Kyle picked on Stanley.
You've been playing my DS.
You broke mine.
Yeah, 'cause you lost my skateboard.
Someone took it. Doesn't mean you can break my DS.
I can do what I like. I'm bigger, fart breath. Get me a drink.
Get it yourself.
Get it or you're dead.
Get stuffed.
Ow! Don't kick me. Take that, you little toss.
I'm telling Dad.
As if he'd care. And Mummy's not here.
I hate you.
Stanley ran out of the house and down to the fig tree at the bottom of the yard. Stanley's best friend was his mum, but she died 2 years ago and Stanley was lonely. He climbed high into the branches away from the world far below. Stanley's friend Bonnie came down the garden.
Hey Stanley, is that you?
Baby.
Stanley had lived next door to Bonnie since they were little, but he ignored her at school because she wasn't cool.
Hi Stanley.
She's stupid. Who's your friend, Stanley? She thinks she's clever.
Stanley's mean.
It's been tough for him, and he needs to fit in.
Has Kyle been horrid again?
Doesn't matter.
Bonnie liked to tell jokes to cheer Stanley up.
Wanna hear a joke?
Your jokes are stupid.
You're stupid. I was just trying to make you feel better.
I didn't ask you. I was happy before you came. Go home. Stop annoying me.
Mum said it's hard since your mum died. That's all.
Your mum's a big know-all. You're stupid.
At least I'm not a scaredy cat and hide in trees and not talk to my friend because of what other people say.
Stanley felt angry. His face went red, and without thinking, he shoved Bonnie. Bonnie fell backwards, landing in the branches below. Crying, she climbed down, leaving Stanley sitting alone, looking out from the branches.
She deserved it.
Very clever. I thought she was your friend.
Stanley looked around, but couldn't see anybody.
Up here, bird brain. Boy brain.
An old cockatoo with tatty feathers was staring through the branches.
This here tree's where we come for a bit of peace.
Not my fault. She asked for it.
That's a screech. Did you ask Kyle for it?
That's different.
Make your mother cry, you would.
She doesn't know.
She used to sit up here when she was little, and your grandfather and his. I thought that's why you came.
It was true. Stanley always felt safe in the tree. He could feel the old people all around. Sometimes he even felt he could fly.
I could fly once. Did something stupid and fell off my perch, and here I am. You'll never fly if you do stupid things, bully brains.
Don't call me that.
Stanley didn't like being called a bully.
Shoving girls means your brain must be smaller than mine, and I'm a bird, and that means you must be stupid.
My mum didn't think I was stupid.
She does now.
Do you really know my mum?
Sat up here with their special things, make her feel strong. Learn to fly right here, right where you are.
Stanley felt he could see his mother standing next to him, her arms stretched out like a bird about to take flight.
She was a bright one. Brought you up here, sing to you, send your friend up to tell you jokes. You ruffled her feathers some, and her mother's too, I surmise.
Bonnie won't want to be my friend anymore. What'll she do?
Stanley was scared. Bonnie's mum would be mad at him.
Reckon a big man would have to find out. Hey, there were 10 copy brains perched in a tree. One fell out. How many were left?
9, of course.
None. Get it? Ha 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 ha!
Could I learn to fly?
See that old hole there? Something in there I've been looking after.
Stanley reached into the old possum hole as far as his arm would go. His fingers felt something cold and hard, and slowly he pulled out a rusty old tin. Stanley prized open the old tin and looked inside. There was an old carved bone hair comb, a glass marble with a swirl of bright blue like a beady eye, and a sparkling crystal pushing out from a dull rock.
Ija Juice, she won't be needing them no more. Time to heal a few people around here. Take them Keep them close. Maybe you'll fly one day.
Were they really my mum's?
Be more room in that hole for me now. Right, I'm winging it. Gotta fly.
I thought you couldn't fly.
Just joking. It's gonna be a good day tomorrow. See you later.
With a screech, Cocky took off into the sky, leaving Stanley staring at his precious things. Slowly, he put the treasure back in the tin. Stanley could hear his mother. He stood tall and, clutching his tin, spread his arms
You can do it, son.
and launched himself into the air. He flew high over the giant fig tree. Soaring higher and higher, he could see his world far below, passing his house to the big road, all the way to the schoolyard. He looked down over Bonnie's house.
Hey, Bonnie, I'm flying. No joke, I'm flying.
Bonnie lay in her bed, cradled in her mother's arms. Stanley flew straight into his house, past his dad snoring loudly in his chair, and into his room. He landed on his bed next to Kyle, who was fast asleep. He tucked his tin under the pillow, lay down, and fell fast asleep, a big smile over his face. Next morning, Stanley woke late and looked beneath his pillow. He opened the tin and took out its treasures. He took the beady eye marble and slipped it into the sleeping Kyle's hand. He put the sparkling crystal into his pocket, the carved hair comb into his bag, and hurried off to school. As he walked towards the big road, he looked about anxiously for Bonnie. On the other side, the boys were waving to Stanley, calling him over.
Hey, Stanley! Hurry up! I've got the footy, man!
Behind, Bonnie was limping towards him. Stanley felt really bad.
You okay? I'm sorry, Bonnie. I'm really sorry I shoved you.
That really hurt. My mother says you shouldn't hit or shove anyone.
Hitting is stupid, I know. I bet she really hates me.
She wants to talk to you and your dad, but she doesn't hate you.
Are we friends again?
Stanley took the precious hair comb from his bag and gave it to Bonnie.
This is for you. My mum said to keep it close. Want to walk to school?
What about your friends?
I'll play with them at recess.
Want to hear a joke, Stanley?
Sure.
Stanley took the crystal from his pocket and smiled. Overhead, a flock of cockatoos screeched as Stanley and Bonnie made their way to school.